So let's start. What does he say? He says Mr. X purchased a machine in 1992 for rupees 1 lakh. So there is purchases. Purchases are 1 lakh. This is purchased in the year 1992 and the price index the price index is 180 that day. Okay. Then he says he sold the machine in 1999. This is the sales which is taking place in 99. He sold this machine in 1999 for 1,65,000. That 1,65,000 when the general price index is 270. He says calculate the profit or loss which is there as on that particular date of sale which is there. Right. What is that we will do? We will find out how much is the profit or loss which is being gained according to the CPP method. First, we will understand how much is the historical profit or loss. So first we'll find out what is the historical profit or loss which is there. Right. Historical profit or loss is that you have a purchase of 1 lakh sold at 1,65,000. Are you getting any profits there in the sale? Are you getting any profits in the sale? How much is sale value? Exactly. So the historical profit or loss is nothing else but 1,65,000 minus 1 lakh. So you assume that there is a profit of 65,000. Now we will do the converted values which are there. Now we will do the converted values which are there. So first we will understand what is the converted value of this particular product which is being purchased in 1992, right? So we have purchased. Now whenever you do converted value is nothing else but whatever is the historical cost, historical value multiplied by conversion factor. Historical value multiplied by conversion factor means current price index divided by previous price index. So when I take 1 lakh into 270 divided by 180. So what I am trying to find out is what exactly is the value of that 1 lakh as on today. And then I will decide how much is the profit or the loss which I am getting. Right. So how much is the converted value which I am getting? I am getting a converted, yeah. Yes, converted value. I am getting a converted value of 1,50,000. 1 lakh into 270 divided by 180. So you are getting 1,50,000. How much value are you selling as on today? Sale price you are selling is 1,65,000. So what happens? Are you getting any profit on sale? Yes, you are getting a profit on sale of 15,000. So the actual profit on sale according to CPP. The profit on sale which is there is 15,000. But according to historical cost, what we were thinking is that the profit which is there is 65,000. Yes. Now is okay. He says a company has the following transactions at the given date and the price indexes for the first quarter of 2000. First quarter of 2000. I hope everyone have this particular question, right? This is the question. Okay. Okay. So, the first quarter of 2000, he is giving us that the opening balance is 6,000, price index is 100, cash sales are 17,500 at 105 price index, creditors are 12,108 is the price index, cash purchases are given 2,108 is the price index, expenses are given 2,110 is the price index, and closing balance on 31st March is 7,500 with the price index of 110. He says calculate monetary gain or loss. Calculate monetary gain or loss means it's as simple as this, that you are going to do like a cash book, opening cash balance plus cash sales. You'll find out how much is the total revenue, how much is the total earning which is there. From the total receipts, you will do the minus of all the payments which are there. Total payments will be deducted, and then you will find out how much is the closing balance. Right here, what we have to do is each and every item, historical item, you have to multiply with converted values, wherein conversion factor, wherein conversion factor which is there is nothing else but current price index divided by the specific price index of that particular transaction. So you would do current price index divided by the previous price index which is there of that particular transaction. So you are supposed to convert them by, it's simple like your cash book, simple cash book problems which is there, like that we would be doing here. So here we are trying to prepare the statement of cash. Statement of cash, in which we are going to calculate historical values. How much is the value? What is the conversion which is there, and how much is the converted value which is there. Okay. Now it's like simply your cash flow statement, wherein we do opening balance plus cash sales will give you total receipts minus all the payments which are there. Where are the payments? You have to minus. He is giving us there 3 payments which are there. First he is giving the payment to the creditors. Payment to creditors. Next he is given the cash purchases. Third he is given the expenses which are being paid. Find out how much is the total payments. Now find out what is the closing balance of cash. That will be receipts minus payments. So you will be deducting from the total receipts all the payments which are there. You will get the closing balance of cash. Now what will you write is, what is the expected balance as per CPP? Now this is what it would be. That is the converted value minus what is the actual historical closing value. That we will deduct. We will check, is there any gain or loss? Okay, this is what we have to do. So first of all, what is the opening balance which is given to us? He is given you opening balance of 6,000. Sales are 17,500. Total receipts are 23,500. Out of the payments which are given, payment to creditors 12,000. Payment towards purchases 2,000. Payment towards other expenses which are there 2,000. Now put their conversion factors. Conversion factor is current price index by the concerned price index which is being given there. Current price index is the closing balance price index. So current price index divided by 110 divided by price index of opening balance. Similarly, current price index divided by price index which is given for the cash sales. Cash sales is given as the price index as 105. Next, here again for creditors, current price index divided by price index of your creditors 108. Same thing with purchases. Current price index divided by price index given for the purchases 108. Expenses also same thing. Current price index divided by expenses ka price index. Now your converted values are nothing else but your historical values into conversion factor. So I have first amount is 6,000. 6,000 into 110 divided by 100. I would get converted values. 6,600 which is there. Are you understanding? 6,600. Next, cash is 17,500 into 110 divided by 105. 18,333 is the value which you get for cash sales, converted value. Add up the total receipts which are there. 24,933. Now you will take the payments which are there. Payments are, you are paying to creditors 12,000. Converted current conversion factor, current price index is 110 divided by 108. That 12,000 will give you a converted value of 12,222. Purchases will give you a converted value of 2,037. Expenses are of today only, so their converted value is the same. Now what you're doing, you're adding up all the payments which are there. So when you add up all the payments, we are getting a total amount of 16,259. So here you are getting a payment of 16,000. There you are getting a converted value for the payments of 16,259. Now closing balance of cash is A minus B. 23,500 minus 16,000. That gives you 7,500, which is there as your closing balance according to historical value. But according to converted value, your closing balance is coming to 8,674. So I'm getting a converted value which is there of 8,674. Now what am I understanding here? That practically I should have had the expected value as per my CPP. I should have closing balance of 8,600. But in inflation, what's happening? I don't change my monetary values. So my monetary values are the same. Monetary assets, they don't change. So 7,500 only you would be having cash. So what happens? You have expected a balance of 8,674, but historical value is only 7,500. It means you are getting a loss which is there due to holding, loss due to holding your monetary transactions. So loss due to holding according to CPP method. So according to CPP method, I get a loss of 1,174, right? So here what you basically are doing is you are trying to convert all the historical values with their conversion factor in a very simple cash book statement. Just to convert them with current price index by respective price index, find out their converted values from receipts minus the payments. You will get the closing balance of cash. Find out how much is it actually there and how much it should have been there due to inflation. So expected balance of cash as per CPP is 8,674, but the actual historical closing value you have is only 7,500. It means you are getting a loss due to holding, according to the CPP method of 1,174. So this is which is the problem now? This is the third problem. I hope everyone have. That's the reason I'm just showing so that you have the whole question also. Okay. So here the question which is there is that you have monetary assets, you have monetary liabilities, right? And he is asking us, do you have any monetary gain or monetary loss due to holding these assets or due to holding these liabilities which are there, right? So first of all, what is that I told you? You are supposed to find out two things. What is the opening monetary asset? What are the additions in monetary assets? What are the opening monetary liabilities? What are the additions in the monetary liabilities? So first thing you have to find out, what are the monetary assets which are there as on 1/1/1999, right? Then you will find out what are the additions which are there on it. 31st December 1999. So what am I trying to do here? I have opening monetary assets 80,000, closing monetary assets 1 lakh. So now the additions which I am making, additions to monetary assets in the year 1999 is 20,000. So first I'm finding out how much are the additions which are made to 1999. This is point number 1, that is finding out additions in monetary assets. Point number 2. Now I will find out additions in monetary liabilities. So, monetary liabilities as on 1/1/1999, 1 lakh. Monetary liability as on 31st December 1999, 1 lakh. So, do I have any additions which are there? 0. Therefore, no. Therefore, I don't have any additions which are there in my monetary liabilities. Okay, so now what will I do? I will calculate the monetary assets, the monetary gain or loss on the assets and the liabilities. Always remember, on liabilities you will have gain. Why gain? Due to inflation, maybe suppose you will have to pay to the creditors 1 lakh. Due to inflation, if the value of 1 lakh is 1 lakh 20, you would still be paying him 1 lakh only. You won't pay him 1 lakh 20. It means 20,000 you have saved. So always we get a gain on account of holding monetary liabilities. So the third step we have to do is calculate monetary gain on holding liabilities. Okay, because I am holding certain monetary liabilities, I am trying to find out how much is the gain which I am going to get due to holding the liabilities. So, what will I do now? First, calculate converted value of the monetary liability which is there in the beginning, that is opening. Monetary liability as on 1/1/1999. How much would be the converted value? We always know how to calculate converted value, historical value into conversion factor. Historical value of monetary liability as on 1/1/1999 is 1 lakh into the converted price index is given as the current price index is 300 and the price index which we have as on 1/1/1999 is 200. So into current price index divided by price index of opening monetary liability, that is 200. So 1 lakh into 300 divided by 200, I would get 1,66,667 as my converted value of monetary liability. Then add additions which are there in my converted values. Additions. Yeah.
1 lakh into
Yeah, 1,50,000. Now I'm adding all the additions which are there. The value additions converted value. I don't have any converted additions which are there. If it would have been there, I would have written historical cost into current price index divided by previous price index. But here I don't have the amount itself. So I am not able to, I don't have the converted value of the additions. So my expected value of monetary liability as on 31st December 1999 is 1,50,000. Okay, but when I'm checking my historical values, my historical value of monetary liability as on 31st December 1999 says I have only 1 lakh. It means what's happening? When I have to pay 1 lakh only. But according to the converted value, how much should I pay? 1,50,000. So I'm getting a gain. How much is the gain I'm getting? I'm getting a gain of 50,000. Therefore, gain on holding monetary liability is 50,000. The same thing I have to do with my monetary assets. So I have to calculate how much is the loss which I have on monetary assets now. Right. So I will be calculating the fourth step now. The fourth step is what? Calculation of loss due to holding monetary assets. Now what happens? Any time when you hold monetary assets, what happens is in inflation it's a loss. What do I mean by that? Debtors who are there, possibly the debtors should pay me 1 lakh. But imagine that due to inflation, the value of the debtors which is there, that amount goes to 1,30,000. He will still pay me 1 lakh because he'll say this is monetary, it's a paper value. Whatever the debtors, whatever we have agreed in the paper, that only will be paid. He will not pay you due to inflation, whatever changes take place. So in monetary assets, what happens is every time you will get loss only. So I would be getting the loss. Now how do I calculate the loss now? First, converted value of monetary assets on Okay. Now I'm calculating the loss which is there due to holding. So, converted value of monetary assets as on 1/1/1999. Monetary assets historical value is 80,000 into current price index divided by price index which is there in the previous, that is on the opening date, that is 200. So 80,000 divided into 300 divided by 200 gives you 1,20,000. Okay, next, additions during the year. Additions during the year which are there, we have checked additions during the year have come to in your monetary assets. Do you remember additions in monetary assets are 20,000. So additions to your monetary assets are 20,000 into current price index 300. Remember, these are additions during the year. I might have made it in the beginning of the year, in the end of the year. I could have made it anything. So I should not take opening price index. I should take average price index. So additions will always go on average price index and opening will always go on opening price index. So what's happening? 20,000 into 300 by 240. I would get 25,000 as my value. It means what's happening? 1,45,000 is the expected converted value of monetary assets on 31st December 1999. But what is happening? You have historical value of monetary assets on 31st December 1999 as 1 lakh. It means you are losing out this much. Actually, people should pay you 145, but they are going to pay you 1 lakh only because these are monetary amounts. They are paper agreements. Whatever we agree, that much only people will pay. So what happens? In spite of inflation, you will get only 1 lakh. So you are getting loss on holding monetary assets. You're getting a loss of 45,000. Now what you should do is find out what is the net monetary gain or loss. Right. How to find out the net monetary gain or loss? That is monetary gain on liabilities minus monetary loss on monetary assets, right? That gives you, we have seen monetary gain on liabilities. We have seen here that the monetary gain on liabilities is 50,000. Therefore, 50,000 minus 45,000, I get a net gain of net monetary gain, which is there is 5,000 rupees. Revision. First, what is that we are doing? We are trying to find out how much are the additions which are there to your monetary assets and monetary liabilities. Why should you find out these additions which are there? Because opening monetary assets will be converted at opening value. Additions will be converted at average price index which is there. Therefore, you are supposed to calculate first how much are the additions which are there on your monetary assets and monetary liabilities. So additions will be calculated with opening monetary assets minus closing monetary assets. You'll find out how much are the additions. So in the problem we had 20,000 additions to your monetary assets. Then on liabilities, opening monetary liabilities minus closing monetary liabilities, additions are not there in this particular problem. Now, third step, you are supposed to find out now how much is the monetary gain which is there in your holding of monetary liabilities. Why do I say gain? As I already told you, on liabilities, when you pay, you will pay the paper value. You will not pay the inflated value which is there. It means value, the converted value according to inflation will not be paid. So what happens? First, converted value of monetary liabilities as on 1st January 1999. 1 lakh is there into 300 divided by 200. Value is coming to 1 lakh 50. Additions are not there on your liabilities. So this becomes 0. Total expected value which is there at the end is 1,50,000. But historical value of your monetary liabilities is 1 lakh only. It means what? You will be paying 1 lakh only. Though the monetary liabilities current value is 1,50,000, you will be paying 1 lakh only. So at the end, you would get a gain on your holding of monetary liabilities. Right. Next, what you will do is you would be calculating what exactly is the gain or loss in your monetary assets. Now, why is that we always say there is a loss on monetary assets? Because here in monetary assets, what happens is at any cost you would be paying only the customers would be paying you only the paper value. They will not pay you the current inflationary value. So first calculate converted value of monetary assets as on 1199. Opening balance is 80,000. Historical cost into current price index divided by opening price index. You're getting 1,20,000. Additions are made during the year. Additions are 20,000 into current price index by average price index. Average price index because additions can be made throughout the year anytime. So you should always take average price index. So 25,000 is the addition. Total expected converted values which are there is 1,45,000. It means actually your monetary assets at the end of the year should have been according to inflation 1,45,000. But people, that is your customers, are going to pay you 1 lakh only because that's the paper value which you have. So what's happening? You have a loss on holding monetary assets. 45,000 is your loss which is there on holding these assets. Now find out the fifth step which is there. Now find out how much is the net monetary gain or loss. Take the monetary gain on monetary liabilities 50,000 minus the monetary loss on monetary assets 45,000. You will get a net monetary gain of 5,000. So we are going to the fourth problem which is there. Can you see the problem? So you have shares there in the problem. The shares in 1996. What is the share value? What is the price index? Okay, what is the share value in 1996? Okay, what is the value in 1996? 10,000 is the value in 1996. What is the price index as on that date? 110. The share value of 1999, market value is 8,000. Its price index 132. In 2000, market value is 9,000. Price index is 145.2. Now, first question asked, calculate what is the current purchasing power value of these shares. So, question number 1, calculation of CPP value of the shares. So I'm doing the CPP value. How to do CPP value? Historical value into conversion factor. What is conversion factor? Current price index divided by the previous price index. What is the historical cost in the year 1999? I am taking the value. So historical cost of the shares means at the price at which we purchased it. Historical cost is into current price index by previous price index. Historical cost is 10,000. Current price index is 132 and previous price index is 110. So my CPP value which is there 10,000 into 132 divided by 110, I am getting 12,000. Same thing I will have to do in 2000. Historical cost, that is I purchased at 10,000 only. So historical cost doesn't change. Into my CPP has changed. Current price index is 145.2 divided by my previous price index was 110 only. So I have 13,200 as my CPP. So first question done. First find out CPP 1999 historical cost into current price index by previous price index. I got 12,000. in 2000. The historical cost is 10,000 into current price index by historical price index, previous price index. I'm getting 13,200. First bit is solved. Second question is asking you, what is gain or loss on CPP? It means what? These are the converted values. Okay, these are the converted values. So from the converted value, if you minus the historical value, you will find out what is the gain or loss. So in 1999, converted value is 12,000 minus historical value is, the historical value of this particular share was 10,000. It means you have, according to inflation, actually you should have had a 12,000 value, but the historical value is 10,000. It means your loss on holding this particular loss on holding these shares, that is loss which is there as on CPP method, which is there as 2,000. In 2000, now I will calculate converted value 13,200 minus historical value 10,000. So I get loss 3,200. So I am getting here a loss of 3,200 which is there. This is the second question he asked. It means what is the gain or loss due to holding? Due to holding, what's happening is, the loss which is there is 2,000 and 3,200 in the year 2000. Now third question he is asking is, find out, am I getting any actual gain or actual loss? So now I am finding out the third question. So the third question is, actual gain or actual loss means, that is what is the market price of these shares from the converted value minus the market price. That will give you your loss which is there or gain which is there due to holding. So the third one which I am doing now is or loss. That is in 1999 converted value 12,000 minus market value which he gave you in 1999 is only 8,000. So you get a loss of 4,000. In 2000 converted value 13,200 minus market value is 9,000. So you get a loss of 4,200 in 2000. Did you understand that? Okay. Again check. I'm again explaining. First thing, what he gave you is that he purchased shares in 96 at 10,000. At that time, the price index was 110. In 1999, what happened is the market value, which is there, is 8,000 and the price index is 132. In 2000, what happened is that the price index has come to 9,000 and the price index is 145.2. Now, three questions he's asked you. First, find out this shares which I purchased. What is their current purchasing power value? It means, if according to inflation, what is their value now? Second, find out what is the gain or loss due to this particular converted values. Third, what is the actual gain or loss in comparison to the market value? These are the three things asked. So first I am doing here calculation of CPP. I am doing Historical cost into current price index divided by previous price index. 1999, 10,000. Its price index which is there in the opening balance price index is 110. Current price index in the year 1999 is 132. 10,000 into 132 by 110, 12,000. In 2000, it is 10,000 into 145 by 110, 13,200. Second question is asking you what is the gain or loss on the current purchasing power. So what happens? You are calculating converted value minus historical value. Are you getting any loss or gain? So I am getting a loss in 1999, 12 minus 10, I get 2000. Now in 2000, I get 13,000 minus 10,000, 3,200 loss which is there. Third question asked is, what is the actual gain or loss? It means actual gain or loss means according to market value. So from converted value, I should minus my market value. 12,000 is a converted value, but I am able to sell in the market only at 8,000. It means I am getting a loss of 4,000. This is the inflationary loss which is there. In 2000, the converted value is 13,200, but the market value I am getting is 9,000. It means I get a loss of 4,200.